And welcome to the Bulloch Sports Report. I'm Josh Aubrey. Plenty to get to in this week's show. The annual Schenkel Invitational, the 45th annual, taking place Friday, Saturday, and Sunday over at Forest Heights Country Club. The Georgia Southern Eagles with the lead on Friday at the end of things, on Saturday at the end of things, and even into the back nine on Sunday. But unfortunately, they weren't able to pull off the victory. Utah comes from behind with two solid rounds on Saturday and Sunday to claim the team title. Florida coming in second. Georgia Southern in third. The Eagles had some really nice individual performances as well. Top five finishes for both Parker Claxton as well as Hogan Ingram. We'll send you out for some highlights and interviews from that. Also, the Georgia Southern baseball team with a 3-game sweep of Appalachian State. They're on a 4-game winning streak as they go into this week's action. And this weekend, we'll have some highlights from the App State series, as well as area high school baseball, Bulloch Academy in action, as well as Southeast Bulloch. All that and more coming up on the Bulloch Sports Report. And a reminder before we go to break, hopefully you'll never be in an accident, but if so, please give our friends at the Sullivan Law Firm a call, 912-489-8888, or online at thesullivanlawfirm.com.
Trust your eyes to the team that takes care of the Eagles. Professional Eye Care of Statesboro offers a full range of medical eye care, in addition to a wide assortment of glasses, sunglasses, and contact lenses to suit your style.
I'm Dr. Horace Deal. Allow me or one of my associates to provide you with comprehensive medical eye care. And we can help you select from a variety of glasses and contact lenses here at Professional Eye Care of Statesboro.
Well, a busy weekend over at Forest Heights as they were hosting the annual Schenkel Invitational. The Georgia Southern Eagles taking the lead on Friday, maintaining that lead through Saturday. Things got a little close. Sunday, all the way to the back nine, the Eagles with the lead, and then Utah starts to pull away. Florida ends up in second. The top individual winner was Ian Poulter's son, Luke Poulter, his first ever collegiate victory for the sophomore from the Florida Gators. The Eagles with a few impressive finishes individually, including Parker Claxton and Hogan Ingram. Let's send you out for some of the action from Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The annual Schenkel Invitational teeing off Friday at Forest Heights Country Club. Chilly, windy conditions early on, as well as a little luck of the Irish. Christopher Bagnell of Notre Dame, the chip-in eagle on number 7. Bagnell would go on to birdie number 8, and then from the trees on 9, his third shot on the par 5 is a beauty. Bagnell wanting some TV time, and he'd get it. He'd step up and drain the birdie from there, and a 34 on the front side, unfortunately a 43 on the back. Over to the par 3 6th we go, and the tee shot from Wisconsin's William Harned. And this one filters down nicely to about 6 feet away. He'd finish the day at 1 under to the par 5 12th, and Utah's Gabriel Palacios with the birdie putt. He'd finish at even par. Kentucky's Jack Schoenberger helping the Wildcats to a team total of -3 as they're in third place. Jack putting it up close, and then he'd birdie here on 12. He'd finish at 1 under individually. The Florida Gators in second place at 7 under, and one of the top golfers in the country, Ian Gilligan, here on 12. Also one of the only players to hit the 12th green in 2. He'd putt this one up close and then sink the birdie and finish 3 under individually. But the team everyone was trailing was the Georgia Southern Eagles. Hogan Ingram with the birdie putt on number 6. He'd finish the day at 3 under. To 7 we go. And the third shot on the par 5 from Brantley Baker He puts this one to about 3 feet and would go on to sink it. He'd finish the day at 2 under. Parker Claxton and Coach Carter Collins walking up the 7th fairway, and he'd have about 10 feet left for birdie on 7. He drains it. Claxton finishing the day at 3 under par. Over to the par 5 9th, and Baker in a tight spot. The nice pitch shot here. But he'd leave himself with a difficult 12-foot downhill putt for birdie. No problem, though. Baker turned at 34. Wrapping things up with a big crowd over at the 18th hole, watching everyone finish up. And after a great chip, Ingram in for birdie. Baker trying to get himself out of a jam, blasting his way out of the bunker. He'd leave himself a delicate 5-foot slider for birdie, and course knowledge paying off for the senior as he wraps this one around and in. Wrapping up the Eagles round, Claxton from behind the trees on 18. He's going to run this one up nicely, leaving himself about a 15-footer for birdie. He'd miss that, but would be able to sink the par putt as the Eagles finish 10 under, have a 3-shot lead after day 1. Day 2 of the Schenkel Invitational taking place at Forest Heights Country Club Saturday. Georgia Southern going in with the lead. Wind conditions once again tough, but plenty of nice shots. We go over to the par 3 6th hole, and the tee shot from Kentucky's Jack Schoenberger. It's going to feed off the hill. Nearly goes in for a hole-in-one. He'd leave himself about 3 feet. He'd tap that in for birdie and would finish the day at even par, staying at number 6. And how about this one from Florida's Ian Gilligan? This is going to end up even closer to about 2 feet away. He puts this one in for a birdie and would finish the day at even par, keeping Florida in the hunt. Also, your individual leader, Luke Poulter, the son of Ian Poulter, here on number 6. A popular spot to land it up top and watch it roll on down to within a few feet. Poulter would put that in for a birdie. More on him a little later. Schoenberger here on number 9, the par 5 hole, here for birdie. He knocks this one in. And then it's Gilligan over on number 12 for birdie. He drains it, signaling to his teammate Luke Poulter. And take a look at what Luke's got. His 3rd shot on the par 5 hole nearly goes in. He'd have that left to tap in for the birdie to maintain his individual lead and help the Gators remain in the hunt. Speaking of Florida, we go to 16. This time it's Jack Turner. The tee's moved up, and he takes advantage with a 2 for an eagle. Kentucky's Jansen Preston would drill this ball into the bunker on the par 4 hole. Here with a sand shot to about 4 feet away, he steps up and puts that in for the birdie. Preston would finish the day at 1 under par. Staying with number 16, a pretty fun hole on this day, and it's the Gators' Zach Swanwick. He drives this one into the bunker, and take a look at the touch on this shot, feeding downhill to about 5 feet away. He steps up and knocks in the birdie. He'd finish the day at +1. The wind blowing the flag, and sometimes that's a good thing. Take a look at this one. Gilligan in trouble behind the green in the pine straw, catches a flyer, but it hits the top of the flag, drops down to within a few feet. Moving ahead to 18, and it's Schoenberger. After a couple of bogeys, he nearly jars this one. That his third shot, he taps that in for birdie to help Kentucky to a fourth place team finish after Saturday. And then it's Gilligan on the par 5 hole. His third shot for an eagle. He nearly gets it to go. He taps that in for the birdie. The Florida Gators currently in second place, only one stroke off the lead, thanks in part to the play of Luke Poulter. Here he is on 18. He's there in 2, puts this one to a couple feet. He tapped it in for birdie, currently in first place individually at 8 under, 3 ahead of his nearest competition. As for the Georgia Southern Eagles, coming in with the lead and not relinquishing it, Brantley Baker on number 5 for the birdie. He puts it in. We move ahead to number 6, and it's Bryson Jones on the tee, showing some touch here. He gets this one to stop about 6 feet away. Hogan Ingram liking the 6th hole as well. Here's his shot. He birdied it on Friday. He puts it to about 8 feet on Saturday. He'd then step up and sink the birdie putt to remain in the hunt individually and keep the Eagles right there. We move to 7, and it's Ingram on the par 5 hole. Here in 2, just misses the eagle. Not a problem. He steps up and knocks in the 3.5 footer for birdie. He's currently tied for second at 5 under par. Parker Claxton in a good spot on number 7. Here's his third shot. He comes up a bit short, but no problem. From about 7 feet away, Claxton will sink the birdie putt. Heading over to number 12, where Luke Koenig drains the birdie, helping to contribute with a 74. Staying on number 12, it's Bryson Jones going for the green in 2, and his pretty yellow ball, easy to find in the air. This one lands on the lower shelf, about 25 feet away, so he steps up and puts it to within about a foot and would tap that in for the birdie. Parker Claxton on in 2 as well. Here's his eagle attempt for a good crowd over there at 12. Comes up a few feet past the hole. He steps up though and sinks the birdie. Claxton currently tied for 11th after a 1/73 on Saturday. Heading over to 16, and perhaps the shot of the day, Bryson Jones. Take a look at this one. It doesn't get above about 10 feet. This an impressive bump and run from the tee box. It's not done. Rolling, watch where this one ends up. His tee shot on the par 4 hole to about 8.5 feet away. He would just miss the eagle, but steps up and knocks in the birdie. Jones would lead the way for the Eagles on Saturday with a 69. He's currently tied for second individually. Finally, over to 18, where a great crowd gathered to see the way everyone finished up, and it's Jones on in 2 for eagle. This one just inches short. He'd walk up and put it in for birdie. Next up, Hogan Ingram, just short of the green on number 18. Here's his third shot. He bumps this one up. It nearly falls in. He steps up, gives the crowd something to clap about as he makes the birdie as well. Keeping the Eagles in the lead. Parker Claxton in trouble on 18, about 15 feet away, needing this for par, and Claxton showing off a little emotion here, helping to get the Eagles in the house with a 1-shot lead as they go into the final round Sunday with some momentum and looking. The final round of the Schenkel Invitational teeing off Sunday morning. Beautiful weather and a great crowd on hand. A 3 horse race with Georgia Southern, Utah, and Florida battling it out. And it's the Utes' Brandon Robinson making noise early on. The chip in for birdie on number 5. Teammate Gabriel Paloshitz then with the birdie putt just ahead on number 6. Florida's Luke Poulter keeping himself in first place individually and helping the Gators as well with shots like this one on number 5. Braxton Watts then for Utah with the birdie on the par 5 7th hole. Georgia Southern's Hogan Ingram hot on Poulter's heels. Here, his approach on 5. This one gets to about 6 feet away. He'd go on to put that in for a birdie to tie Poulter individually. Ingram then over to the par 3 6th hole where he'd birdied on Friday and Saturday. Here the approach to about 12 feet away. And they may need to name that walkway to 6 Hogan's Bridge as he sinks another birdie to pull ahead individually into first place. More fireworks ahead on number 7, Parker Claxton for Eagle, and he uses the Texas wedge to perfection, draining it, putting himself in the hunt for first. The Eagles taking advantage of the par 5 7th hole. Bryson Jones with his third shot after a nice second. He just misses, but would tap that one in to help the Eagles remain in first as a team. Don't count the Gators out, though. Matthew Kress, the chip for his third shot on 7, which he nearly gets in. He'd tap in for birdie. And then it's Poulter, the 12-foot birdie here on 7, which he drains to pull into a tie with Ingram. To 9 we go, and Brantley Baker for Georgia Southern with the delicate downhill birdie putt, which he gets to fall. Ian Gilligan in trouble over the green on 9. Not a place you want to be, but he pulls off an amazing shot here, showing why he's one of the top collegiate golfers in the country, leaving about 7 feet for birdie, which he will sink. Next up is teammate Kress. The smooth touch on this birdie putt from the fringe as the Gators making a run. Utah not going away, though. Sergio Jimenez will sink the long birdie putt here on number 9. He'd finished the tournament tied for 9th. Over to 12 we go. Utah's Gabriel Palokas at it again. On in 2, and the nice lag putt here. He puts that one in for a birdie and would shoot a -171 on Sunday. Florida's Ian Gilligan showing his power as for the 3rd straight day. He goes for the green in 2 here on the par 5 12th, and he does it again. Showing a little celebration for doing that one. He'd miss the eagle, but make the birdie putt to put himself in contention for medalist honors. The Eagles' Parker Claxton trying to keep up here with the impressive 3rd shot on 12. Within about 7 feet. Unfortunately, he'd miss the birdie and have to settle for par. No let up for the Utes. Robeson, the approach to about 4 feet as it filters out. He'd sink that for a birdie. Utah starting to pull away, and they'd take over control on 16. A great crowd, and first it's Braxton Watts with the dart here to about 2 feet. which he'd make easily moments later. Gilligan not going away, though, as he sticks this one to about 5 feet away, which he'd go on to birdie, making this putt. Parker Claxton giving all he had Sunday. Here on 16, he drains the long birdie, trying to give the Eagles a glimmer of hope. The huge gallery following Claxton over to 17 and down the 17th fairway through to 18, and what they'd miss in the very next group would be a dagger from Utah's Robinson from about 115 yards away. This one inside 19 feet. He then makes the birdie. Meanwhile, up ahead, his teammate Davis Johnson putting the final touches on an incredible 6-under round here with the putt on 18. Florida down a couple strokes, but Gilligan trying to keep hope alive on and 2 on the par 5 18th. He puts this one from the bottom shelf to the top. Within a few feet, he sinks the birdie and would finish with a 68 and place second individually. Utah trying to close the door as Watts with the nice lag putt, which he would make for par. Georgia Southern's Hogan Ingram finishing strong, giving the home fans a little something to clap about. His third shot up tight. He'd sink that to tie for 5th after an even par round of 72. Luke Poulter with only 2 birdies and 2 bogeys Sunday on a pretty clean scorecard. Here, his third shot on the par 5 18th. He runs it up there close. He'd sink this to claim medalist honors at -8 with the 72 on Sunday.
It was great. Yeah, it was nice to be back out here. The fans out here are amazing. Course is great. The conditions have been great. Putting, or the greens have been amazing. So it was nice to get it done this week. I recently switched to a cut off the tee, and with everything, and it's been really good from there. And then the main thing this week was just trying to hole some putts, because that's been holding me back a little bit. But it's been good. It was really good this week. So
for you individually, your first individual title, what's that like?
Oh, it's been great. Yeah, I mean, to finally get a college win has been amazing. Like in the fall, I had 7 months off because I was injured. So to finally get it done and shows all my hard work's paying off, which has been good.
What's it like to be Ian's son? I know people talk to you about that a lot, but now you're kind of blazing your own path a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool. I mean, I got big shoes to fill, but yeah, it's great. I mean, learning from him has been amazing. Being around all the best pros in the world is also great. It's helped me, I think, a lot. So it's nice to finally get this and kind of create my own way.
The team title going to Utah as Jimenez, only needing a par to get it done. He makes a nice putt and then puts it in to wrap up the team victory.
So we started out a little slow our first round, but played amazing these last 2 rounds. I think we were the low score in round 2 and in round 3, and these boys were outstanding.
Your first time visiting Statesboro and you come away with the trophy. What did you think about the course? What did you think about the tournament?
Course was really challenging. It was great. Tournament was amazing. Everybody in the community of Statesboro should be proud. This is one of the coolest college events we've ever played in, I've ever seen. So we loved it. Absolutely loved it.
As for the host team, Claxton led the way, tying for 3rd at 6 under after a 4 under 68. And while disappointed, he and the other members of the team felt they showed fight and hoped to build on their 3rd place team finish.
It was a great week. We thought we topped the bottom. Everybody did well, and it's obviously not the result we wanted, but it's great to be in this position, and one of these times it'll go our way, so we're excited for the rest of the year. Yeah, we sometimes you just get beat in this game. There's nothing you can do about it. I know all 12 of us did, tried our hardest and put our best foot forward, and sometimes it just doesn't go your way. So, but we all have our heads held high and ready for the next tournament.
A lot of gratitude. The Statesboro community really gave us energy every day, and they were electric and pushed us. And you know, like Parker said, all 12 of us gave everything we had to the Schenkel this week, and they played some great golf and just came up a little short. But tip our hats to Utah, who closed a little better than we did. We just got to put ourselves in position a little bit more to gain that experience.
You walked with Parker throughout the round. You saw a couple of special shots there with some eagles. You know, he's right there battling to the end. You can tell how much this tournament means to him. I know it means the same to a lot of guys, but your thoughts on Parker?
He's a special person. He's an elite competitor. He's grown a lot in this game and continues to grow, and just very proud of him. What he's been able to accomplish so far in his Georgia Southern career has been extremely impressive, and the future is bright for him. And today was an incredible day. The birdie he made on 16 and the shots he hit on the back nine were just unbelievable. And he tends to find those special moments, and this week was no different. And you know, I love him and really appreciate who he is as a person, how strong of a competitor he is, and I think everyone got to see that this week.
Well, as for the Georgia Southern baseball team, they were in action at home with the beautiful weather as well. Saturday, the wind blowing out a little bit. The Eagles piling up some runs en route to their victory over App State and the 3-game sweep over the Mountaineers. Let's send you out for some of the action. After a win Friday, a wild game between Georgia Southern and App State Saturday, trailing 3-1 in the fourth, Cade Parker takes this one up, and away to right. The 3-run blast gives the Eagles a 4-3 lead, but things far from over. The Mountaineers get a pair of homers in the fifth by Graham Smiley and Cameron Miller as they come back to take a lead. At 8-4, back come the Eagles in the fifth. Sean White deep to center, another 3-run shot for Georgia Southern. They'd get within a run at 8-7. Next up, it's Daniel Hab. He sends this one out quickly to left. That's gone, tying the game at 8-all. So 6 homers in the game. How about 7 as J.P. Herholtz, and he takes this one for a ride to right. The solo shot gave the Eagles a 9-8 lead. They'd add another homer and go on to win 14-13 the final. Next up for the Eagles, they'll host North Florida on Wednesday evening, and then a 3-game series up in Atlanta at Georgia State Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. All right, stay with us. High school action coming up next. Stop by Bubba Golf on Northside Drive behind Remax Eagle Creek Realty today for all your golf needs. They have everything you need to dominate the course and to stand out in golf fashion as well, featuring top brands in golf apparel to the latest and most trusted golf clubs used by the pros. Bubba Golf also has a TrackMan simulator to fine-tune your swing like never before. Or bring your friends and enjoy a round of golf at one of their many courses to choose from. Need golf club repairs? Bubba's got you covered. Swing by today and see why Bubba Golf is your one stop for all things golf. Northside Drive behind Remax Eagle Creek Realty. Well, plenty of high school baseball action going on as they're getting into region schedules. Let's send you out for some highlights from Bulloch Academy, as well as Southeast Bulloch, a big region game against Long County. The Southeast Bulloch Yellow Jackets at home Tuesday for an important region showdown with Long County. The Jacket defense looking solid as third baseman Landon Huggins makes a nice stab and throws out the runner at first. A pitcher's duel as Cade Harnage was in command for the Jackets. Here the strikeout to end the inning in the second. Meanwhile, his counterpart, Nick Sizemore, would allow only 2 hits and strike out 7 in 7. Trailing 1-0 in the 6th with a runner on first, Case Dye, the nice sacrifice bunt to put the runner in scoring position. And then Rhett Morgan does his job, the opposite field single, and we're tied at 1-all. Harnage would only allow 1 hit in the game and would strike out 13. We move to the 8th. 1 on, no out, and Harnage puts down a nice bunt. Kyle Rooks on the move to third, gets in just under the tag. So runners on the corners, and Dye with a chance to play hero. And the single to right will do it. Rooks scores, and the Jackets walk it off 2-1. The Bulloch Academy Gators hosting First Preparatory Christian. The Gators playing some good defense early on as third baseman Jacob Avery makes a nice play here. And a nice stretch there at first. On the mound, Jack Lanier. And the lefty in control here getting the strikeout. He get plenty of offensive help in this one. J.C. Lee with the RBI single into left, starting the scoring as Parker Chance comes home. Next up, it's T.J. Durden with the shot to the gap into right. This one brings in Porter Wood. It's 2-0, plenty more to come. Ike Hubbard goes the opposite way, and Brennigan pre-scores to make it 3-zip. The Highlanders having their troubles in the field. The shot to short thrown away. 2 more Gators score, and it's 5-0. Sam Hubbard will add the opposite field RBI single as Andrew Welker comes in. Next, it's Chance with the single into left. Avery walks home. Lanier helping his own cause as the ground ball gets into left. Sam Hubbard will trot home. It's 12-0. Then the opposite field bloop will fall in. Wood comes home to make it 14-0. 1 more run will win it. And it's Porter Wood and the pink bat finishing it off as the Gators roll 15-0. And that's going to wrap it up for this week's show. We thank you for joining us. Hope to see you again next week.